지금 다운로드 받으세요.
Welcome everybody to another great evening of Pro League here. It is Sunday evening. I am Wolf. With me is GTR. Look how handsome we look on our little graphic down there.
Oh yeah, I love that photo of us. Actually, I think my favorite photo of the intro, like the casters, is me and Tasteless, because Tasteless looks like that, you know, the adoptee uncle, and I'm just sitting there very happy to be the adopted son. But
you look like his nephew or something.
But we've got a pretty good game to start off today's late start per se. We've got the champions of round 2 in the Jin Green Wings going up against the champions of round 1 in SK Telecom T1.
And it's the rematch of the round 2 finals. However, SKT looking very weak here in round 3 compared to Jin Green Wings. Jin Green Wings, the defending round champions, and SKT needs to pull it together. On paper, if you look at the results of the players for SKT, you know, it looks like, okay, yeah, they're still in it. They have the 3 players, I believe, in the top 10 of the winners ranking as well, but in recent times they have underperformed, and they're at a -3 indicator at 0-2. Not the best performance so far.
Yeah, you expect SK Telecom, being the behemoth of a team that they are, to do very well, but you know, a lot of those players, such as Dark, such as Innovation, aren't really doing as well as expected of them. And it's possible if Gen Air do win this game, they will most likely secure that first seed in the grand finals.
Yeah, very, very likely. They're currently sitting at 2-0 with a +5 indicator. So the only way they don't pass KT today is if they win today in an ace match, assuming they win it overall. So any higher score than that, and they will actually secure first place in the rankings. But it's not going to be an easy match. Both teams bringing out strong players tonight. And I do feel like this is going to be by far the better match, though, of the two. The KT match with MVP coming up later, not going to be as close, I'd say.
Yeah, looking at the lineups on paper, obviously we've got the 2 best teams today, arguably, in Pro League. And then the second game, KT versus MVP, honestly, it looks like a bit of a whitewash.
Yeah, definitely could be. Let's break down those ratings, because you mentioned that these could be the 2 best teams in Pro League, and I would agree overall for the year. But in this round, KT Rolster seems to be the best so far. As mentioned, though, if Jin Air wins with anything better than a win in the ace match, they will pass them and secure the first place. But the rivalry of KT Rolster and SKT in round 3 here seems almost non-existent, with a number 1 spot versus a number 7 spot.
I mean, I don't think in the history of Pro League have I seen SK Telecom T1 sitting at the very bottom. I believe there was a period of time transitioning in 2007 between the previous coach and then the new coach, which would eventually become Coach Park of, you know, Coach Park fame. And yeah, it's just really a shock to see SK Telecom T1 being at the bottom of the table. But if they take the series rather against the strong Jin Air Green Wings team that we have today, I think it will kickstart their campaign to try and get back this round.
And a loss would almost certainly eliminate them from going to the round 3 playoffs, because it would put them at 0-3 and at least a -4 indicator. So something to keep in mind. By the way, Cure is on fire right now, and a lot of people still expect Innovation to take that TBT, but I'm looking at this saying I think Cure is absolutely going to take it. I was on the Jin Air Green Wings hype plane, TM, for like a long time.
Happyplane.jpg.
Yeah, happyplane.jpg. I was on it all last round. They won the round in a close series. SKT having a rough round 3. I'm going to have to put my eggs in the Jin Air basket tonight, to be totally frank with you.
You want to transport your eggs in a Jin Air plane, per se.
Yeah.
But I actually voted Innovation for that game because I just feel like Innovation will have prepared better for it. But yeah, as you said, Cure deserves that red up arrow because he made it pretty comfortably out of his SSL group, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that he did. And let's take a look at Dark versus Rogue. Dark is 1-1 in ZVZ, whereas Rogue has played 5 matches versus Zerg and has lost 0. 5-0. And as you can see, Dark has played more games, but he has a lower record overall. He's lost more games than Rogue as well. So Rogue, not the monster in individual leagues, but in these Pro League best of ones, he's looking solid. And check this out. Me, Valdez, and Daehyun tied in first place.
Yep, and Kanata, the birthday boy, down at the bottom.
And a 3-4 vote. I'm the only one of the foreign casters going for Rogue, and I'm a bit disappointed. thought you guys would be more on my side on this one.
Well, I just think Dark's a stronger player. I always go with my gut in these predictions, but we're about to get started into our first game here of today, Jin Air versus SKT. It's Rogue against Dark.
In the top right, in green, it is the Jin Air Green Wings Zerg. It is Rogue.
And spawning down here at the bottom left for SK Telecom T1 as the orange Zerg, it is Dark.
All right, is that Kaldor? Who's got all these stats? What's going on?
The Korean Kaldor. I wonder if they're bald as well.
So looking at the current standings for SKT, they would actually be in third place behind KT and Jin Air with their current round 3 points is what that's indicating. So again, showing that they would have to go through a lot tougher of a grand postseason later on if they don't step it up. Yep. I do want to mention, as I mentioned yesterday, please use the hashtag SPL to discuss SPL-related things.
Yep.
Like, wow, today's matchup between Jin Air Green Wings and SK Telecom T1 should be a great one. Hashtag SPL.
Yeah, and also give the Kesper Twitter follow at Kesper, and also the English Kesper at KesperEN. I'd love your followers because we want to know how many people outside of Korea are following Pro League and the other Kesper-related tournaments that we have here down in Korea.
Yep, so...
Still the birthday tribulations for Kanata.
Yeah, he's saying happy birthday, Kanata. He said actually it was also his birthday yesterday, so he and Kanata
Wasn't it also your
birthday
as well?
My birthday was on Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 days ago. So I'm 26 now. I'm an older esports boy now.
Yeah, I'm a youngin' here at 23, so...
You're getting up there.
Yeah, getting there.
Well, in this game, not huge variations on the builds here. I mean, well, there is obviously a faster hatchery versus a faster pool and the faster speed that's coming along with that, but it's not like one build is so aggressive that the other player will have to be wary of it. It's not a rush build or a cheese build, but let's keep an eye on what Rogue wants to do with this Zergling speed.
Yeah, I think these builds aren't going to... They're going to even out in the end because you've got to have to remember Dust Towers is such a large map that speedling builds, unless you're very, very, very greedy, it's not going to really matter on this map, given the sizes. But we see a very early Baneling nest here from Rogue. He probably wants to put on some pressure.
Yeah, I'd say so, because this isn't the safety Baneling nest timing. It's also unlikely to be scouted early on just simply because of the nature of the map, just like you said. And we see Dark add his own Baneling nest down. And this may be, at first I was thinking, well, he's making a Baneling nest, he wants to be aggressive because he knows it's less likely for him to be scouted. But the more I think about it, with both Baneling nests going down, it's like, okay, well, getting the Overlord over there is going to take a long time, so I don't see anything at the third base. Let's make a Baneling nest for safety, and both players doing the same.
Okay, here we go. Dark's going to put down his third hatchery at that third expansion. So... it's the onus is up onto Rogue here because he is hatching 12 more Zerglings. He's going to get his Banelings there to apply some pressure, and it's going to be all on Dark to try and defend this space.
Yeah, I mean, this is... he had the faster spawning pool. He has the faster speed. His first few lings are going to go over here and scratch at this a little bit. He wants to go up and see if there's a Baneling nest, because if there is one, it's going to be harder for him to commit to Banelings. And he actually does see it, I believe. And now, morphing Banelings right outside this hatch, and a ton more lings are coming over. I think he's going to force a cancel on this. That's his goal. He can try to control the ramp with his own Banes at the bottom.
Well, we'll see Dark actually building a Spine Crawler, what I assume will be in his main base. So, oh, that was so close there. Rogue could have lost a lot of Zerglings. But it seems like Dark has got his queens up onto the ramp. Did he just kill his own Baneling, or was that Rogue's?
I think he killed a ling with it. I think it was like, he probably didn't want to detonate that, but it just blew up on one of Rogue's lings.
Yeah, but at least Dark has his queens there on the ramp, so be able to siphon that ramp a bit and try and stop this pressure from coming in. He's even got the Spine Crawl in position, which is really good here for Dark.
But, you know, this isn't Rogue trying to end the game by any means. He just wants to continue to deny this base while he gets his lair up. He's adding gases back at home, and he will soon have 4 Vespene Geysers actively mining to get the Mutalisk out. And that's going to be the tech of choice most likely here for Rogue, as that lair is now done. He almost has enough for that Spire. And he can add his own third base fairly soon as well.
Oh, but this Zergling just sneaks out, and will it scout the fact that the lair is up? Yes, he does. And will he see the spire being built? Not yet, but I think with that really early lair timing from Rogue, he will, you know, give a guess that there will be a quick spire.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I don't know if he actually quite got the vision of that, but I think it's pretty obvious at this point.
Yes, he did.
Okay, so he saw it. He knows what's up. He also continues to know that there's no third base because his Overlord is here. So all he really needs to do is set up a good Mutalisk defense because he's going to have his third base faster. Yes, he did have to cancel it, but he's remade it. It's 2/3 of the way done. So it's a Muta defense game here for Dark.
Yeah, a few Spore Crawlers and some Queens will be pretty much enough to defend from 2 Hatch Muta. This Overseer might die, actually. That'll be, you know, a bit of a loss for Rogue. He has to build another Overlord to make up for that loss of play with that Overseer dying. And actually, Rogue's just going to build a third hatchery behind this because he knows that his Mutalisk play has been scouted.
Somewhat significant is that Dark still has all 4 of his Overlords out on the map. The first one is spawning the third base location, so that makes sense as this Stout is coming for Rogue. He sees there's no spores up. He also doesn't see the Hydralisk then. But those Overlords will be picked off by the first 5 Mutas because he hasn't pulled them back. But other than that, I don't expect this pressure to do too much versus Dark because he's amply prepared.
Really interesting to see here. Rogue going for a very quick infestation pit. Generally, when you go Mutalisk, you know, the ideal composition will be to get those Mutalisks and try and get those Infestors out to help try and defend while you're attacking with those Mutalisks. But generally, you want to get your Infestation Pit when that 30's up, when you have those extra, the 5th and 6th gases come up. But looks like Rogue's actually trying to rush it.
Yeah, I think he knows that this is less likely to do damage, and that this is mostly just going to be Overlord snipes and a little bit of map control that this gives him. Notice also he's unlocking this position down here so he can actually do more Ling counterattacks. For example, looks like he's looking for a much later game, and I do like that. He's using his Lings for something. He's finding value out of them. Yeah, because these Mutas, like, what are they going to get done? They're going to get a few Overlords, and actually this will supply block Dark temporarily, but that's the best he can hope for here. Oh my god! Swarm Host!
No way!
No, Rogue, no! No!
Am I transported 2 years in the past? I did not expect Swarm
Rogue
Host
is
here.
like the only player in Legacy of the Void and in contemporary StarCraft 2 to use Swarm Host.
No, we saw Bjol use this against a Protoss.
Yeah,
but
I mean, like,
in its matchups, like never. You never see Swarm Host.
It's only Rogue who does this.
Guys, please tweet that Swarm Hosts are being seen in ZVZ and hashtag SPL because this is such a surprise that we're seeing here tonight.
So now we understand why those rocks are being broken down.
Yeah.
Can use the Locust from that location at the 6 o'clock to fly them over and hit the main base. And he wants to go full late game here. He's getting a hive. He's researching Burr already. And
here we go.
This is something that Dark has not scouted. He has no idea. He's going to go down here to the 6 o'clock, and those Locusts are about to fly over and do some damage.
Yeah, Hydralisks aren't really a thing that you want to defend from Swarm Host harass. You'd want to get more the bulkier units like those Roaches. He is getting that Roach Hydra composition, so we'll see how he reacts to this, because this is something that I've surely never seen before.
All right, here we go. They're trying to get ready over here. There they go. And here come the Flying Locusts. They're going to hit the main base. So this is something that Dark will have never seen before.
I just want to see Dark's reaction right here.
Look at his face. He's like, wait, what?
It's like...
And now the Spore is down, so Mutas can continue to harass here as well.
Oh, and he has to use those Banelings onto those Locusts, which is quite unfortunate because those Banelings could have been used for a more better purpose, per se.
All right, now, the thing is, this
might trigger a counterattack.
Yeah, he can counterattack because he knows that there's not that much back at home to defend. 7 Spines, though, just finishing up back at Rogue's base, so he's set up for defense. Looks like he really wants to rely on Mutalisk. He will need more than that, though, because there's a ton of Hydras in this army comp. He's going to just try to rely on Spines alone, and I think he's going to lose these Swarmos should Dark decide to go for this.
Or he could burrow him. Yes, he's going to burrow him, and he needs Overseer to kill him, so that's quite unfortunate for Rogue.
He should turn off the autocast of Locust, I think, so that these don't get scouted.
Both players actually supply blocked, which is quite amusing. I don't know how that happened, but you also have to remember when Rogue is building those spine crawlers, he is losing drones. So in effect, he's also losing mining from those drones that could have been done for mining.
Rogue just made 6 more spines, and he's getting a greater spire right now. He's going for Broodlords. He just wants this late game. The Mutalisks here are really just spotters, and yeah, they're annoying. They can harass, they can clear off Overlords, they can remove vision, they can also snipe Overseers.
That is a lot of spine crawlers there from Rogue. He's so content of sitting on these 3 bases, but I don't think he can just sit on there for too long because he's actually trying to chase these Mutalisks, and he might actually Swarm Host off guard.
He might actually just fight with this. I mean, look, Locusts are going to delay this push. This is going to be a good trade.
Nice Banelink
it's
hit.
3 units.
Here we go. Here come the Roaches, and these Mutalisks are just trying to snipe some of these units, but those Roaches are so tanky.
I think Rogue may have just checkmated this game. He's getting Corruptors out, and he's about to have a composition that Dark just simply doesn't have an answer to with these Roaches. Look, there's not enough Hydras here. The Mutas are actually just going to kill the Hydras, and he's going to have to all in with the Roaches, or he's going to have to turn around. And if he turns around, the Broodlords get up for free. He's getting a Nidus network now as well. Rogue is playing so smart.
Yeah, the problem here for Dark is that there's so many Spine Crawlers here sitting at the third base, and those Swarm hosts can just sit there behind Spine Crawlers.
He's going to take the base at the 12 o'clock with that Nidus, I think. He's taking the fourth base that Dark can see, but he's going to try to take the 9 o'clock with that Nidus Worm. These Mutas are going to force another cancel on this hatchery, and this has been 3 base versus 3 base, but Rogue has been allowed to get Broodlords off of this.
Yeah, the problem here for Dark is that he has absolutely no answer for these Mutalisks that are just picking off units left and right, because you need that mass of Hydra list to deal with that group of Mutalisks, and unfortunately for Rogue, he's just turning Dark around, and just this is an amazing game here from Rogue.
Well, Dark does kill that fourth hatchery, and this Nidus is actually used for reinforcing.
Oh, he's got to snipe the main hatchery as well, so he has to re-tech here, and I think losing that is going to lose the game here for Dark.
We'll see what happens next. The Nidus network to the bottom right looks like it actually was scouted. Here come the Broods, as you mentioned. He can actually siege from this position. He's going to use the Mutalisks to defend them. And these Roaches are worthless here. It looks like he saw something on the minimap and wanted to punish it. I mean, he killed the Nidus. Maybe that's what that was for, but this is going to be tough to stop. He has how many Hydras? Can you check for me?
He has only 20 Hydras, and that is not enough for the amount of the Broodlords that are out for Rogue.
He's going to just try to counterattack here, it looks like. And there's a lot of spines.
He's even got a Nidus as well. What's up?
You can press that T key. I want to see how many spines it's got in total. 13 spines. And that may be the unlucky number here for Dark. Let's see if he can break this. The Swarm hosts are back at home as well, and those are going to be free locusts for the defense.
Yeah, this is going to be the final battle here. He's got the Ravages, though. He's casting a lot of Coastal Bias on his Spine Crawlers, but here come the Locusts as well, doing damage to these units of Dark.
The Locust doing so much to delay this, but the Corrosive Biles are the scary part here. He's got one more spine about to pop. The Swarmo's trying to delay here and even body block these units. It looks like he's held it. He's held it, and the Broodlords are hitting Dark's main. And I think that's going to be game. A few Hydras pop out here. He's going to have to kite these Broodlords back, but look, he's going to kill the Hydras, and that should be game over here for Dark.
Yeah, I don't think even if these Broodlords do die, it's not going to be enough here for Dark, as Dark lost majority of his army just fighting to basically zero supply units in that Spine Crawler.
Rogue, sexy boy Zerg, so much so in this game. Look at his face. He knows he's won it. And I hope he looks at the camera because he's famous for doing this.
Oh, you can see it in his face. He's feeling the victory right now. Mutalisks, GG.
GG.
Amazing game there from Rogue, taking out the SSL champion in Dark with quite ingenious play, actually, with those Swarm hosts and Mutalisks.
Really smart play. Broke down the rocks earlier. Thought he was going to, when I saw him doing that, I was like, okay, he expects he's going to go late. He thinks Dark's going to take that base and he's going to harass. I had no idea the Swarmos were going to be coming out on the table. Then once he harassed with them there, he got enough of an advantage to hold that hive. And he made so many spines because he knew that was the one way he was going to die was to a counterattack. And Dark didn't want to counterattack, but he kind of got forced into it. Broodlords are harassing his base. He doesn't have an answer for them. There's a Mutalisk block protecting the Broodlords. He doesn't even have a Spire, can't make Corruptors. How's he going to deal with those? Hydras? I don't think so.
Yeah, in the end, like, even though he did lose, 15 or so drones to building those Spine Crawlers, he knew that he just had to wait maybe 5 or so minutes and defend from the impending counterattack until he won the game, because, you know, the Swarm hosts did their job harassing, and then later on, Mutalisks picked off those units. And I think, you know, that battle in the bottom right of the map where Dark was trying to move up, I think that was the pivotal point of the game.
Yeah, when he sniped all the Hydras and the Mutas, yeah, I completely agree, because that allowed him to have a moment where the Hydras weren't being massed anymore. He could never get the critical mass Hydras, and that's right when the Broodlords really started to hit their flow, like right after that. And damage was being done. The Roaches were totally worthless. I was scared for Rogue for just a moment because of the Corrosive Biles, because I'm sitting there going, well, the Spines can't dodge that. And I feel like maybe if he was a little bit more careful with those and pushed a little bit more patiently, maybe he could have taken a different fight. Just only chuck Biles and don't actually walk up the ramp until they're gone. Yeah, he would have had to try to delay at home versus the Broodlords. Maybe that would have been better. But it's hard to think on your feet that quickly in a situation you've never been in before in ZVZ, at least not in a televised match. He may have hit this on a ladder before. I'm sure it's not like the first time this has ever been done. But still, when you're in a stressful situation like that, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, I actually completely forgot that the option of Ravages was available to Dark, but Unfortunately for Dark, he built them too late for them to take any effect, and as a result, Jin Air are one game ahead. Our next game will be SOS against Dream, and I'm actually pretty excited for this game because Dream known to being the TVP sniper, but SOS known for being SOS.
Yeah, this one is going to be really close. Actually, all these games today, when you look at the names, it's like,
They're
they
pretty
could
much a
go
toss-up.
either way.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to predict who's actually going to go ahead. We saw both Forte and Bravo show us some really cool Cyclone play yesterday in the TVP matchup. We're going into this map, New Gettysburg, shortest rush distance if you go down the bridge or in the early game. Could even proxy on that bridge. I'm hoping we see some more of that aggro Terran because it's looking really strong and it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see proxy play from the Terran because the way that the map is architectured, so to say, it's very friendly for those proxy plays that we saw, especially that Bravo game against Patience on Overgrowth, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was
that was
Overgrowth.
a really crazy game.
And